about this one, given the recent history between these teams?
Yeah, I mean, as I think it's as big as a regular season game you could play in. But I mean, they're a great football team, and I always like going up against the best, and that's what we're going up against this week. And so we understand that it's gonna be a big game. We understand that it's gonna take our best to win. And so you just have to have extreme focus and know that it's gonna be one play that kind of decides the entire game.
You talked before about your interest in NFL history. Are you kind of aware of what this rivalry is, what its place in NFL history is now?
Yeah, in a sense, I think whenever you have two great football teams that meet up in the Super Bowl and meet up in all these big games, there's going to be a history between that. And so, obviously, we've been able to win those games, but we know how good this football team is, and we have a ton of respect for them. And so it's not like one play couldn't have changed all these football games. And so we're going with that mindset of we just got to make the plays whenever they count.
You watched the last two drives of last year's game, offensive drives. What goes through your mind when you see those two drives?
I think the biggest thing that is the guys just stepped up and made plays. I mean, it wasn't one guy. It was everybody, and guys just continued to make plays and did their job, and that's what special football teams do. And it was this close. I mean, there's a play here and there that changes, then they win, and so that's kind of the NFL, and especially when you get two of the top teams going up against each other.
Recognizing that part of the bye week was to get away, was there something you still wanted to hone in on with your own game?
Yeah, I mean, I got some work in, and I feel like I'm in a good spot. But I mean, till you take time off, you stay on top of your fundamentals. You stay on top of the stuff that's gotten you to where you are so far in the season. But I thought it was a good bye week. I spent some time with my family and some friends and family as well, and so did that, and then got some work in fundamentally. And I'm excited for a great challenge ahead.
To follow up to that, what's your approach? Just for yourself and for your teammates, especially the younger guys, for the rest of the season as you guys kind of buckle in for this 12-game unbroken stretch to finish things out, at least in the regular season?
Yeah, you got to take it one game at a time, one day at a time. I haven't been in this situation before just because I've always had a later bye week. But I always try to stay on top of my body and making sure I'm healthy as possible. I mean, you're going to be banged up in the NFL. But you have to continue to just grind away every single day and get better. And then once you get to the playoffs, that's when you want to be playing your best football. And I think that's something that Coach Reed does a great job of how he schedules practices, how he schedules the week to get your body best prepared for the entire season.
What qualities make Juju Smith-Schuster a good player for that role opposite Kelce?
Yeah, I think he just does a good job of knowing where to be at, knowing the full concept of the offense. Getting himself open in man-to-man coverage, and then just doing whatever it takes to be good. I mean, he'll block, he'll catch the ball, he'll run routes, get other guys open. Just a true team player. And then when his number gets called, he goes out there and makes the play, and that's what it takes to be great in this league.
Speaking of keeping your body right, what sort of stuff do you try to do with Bobby during the season, even the bye week in particular? What are you emphasizing right now?
Yeah, I mean, you stay on top of the little things, shoulder health, knee health, ankle health, all that different type of stuff, especially when you get a little bit extra time in the bye week. And then I try to do whatever I can to maintain my weight in the right spot. And then I even get with my QB coach and get some work in as well. In that bye week, you just get a little extra time to focus on your fundamentals even more. And so doing that and then coming back in the building and continue to stay on top of that will be important to me this year.
Bobby in particular, what's his voice in your ear during the season, at this time of the season? What are you getting from him?
His voice is in my ear at all times. No, it's he makes sure I stay on top of the little things. I think that's the biggest thing that's helped me throughout my career, and I've noticed a difference from my first few years to now that Bobby's up here working with me is that he doesn't let the little things slide. And some days I don't feel as good, and he makes sure that I get that work in, and I make sure to kind of check the boxes, and so that I can be the best I can be every single week.
Did you enjoy your trip over at Kauffman Stadium?
I did. It was awesome. It was the energy was amazing. Obviously, the Royals played great against a great baseball team and didn't come out with the win. But it was cool to see and experience that. I've been waiting for that for a long time, and hopefully it's a building block and a step in the right direction for the future. And I'm excited for those guys in the seasons to come.
How awful was Dieter in the Sweet Week?
Yeah, he actually wasn't that bad. I probably was worse. I was the Dieter in that situation. He's a big Yankees fan, obviously, and he's super excited, and now he gets to talk trash to Travis. So I passed that along to Trav.
Keep up there with Travis.
No, dude, you can't give him a little slither of opening. And Travis told us that he was going to the game, and all of a sudden I looked and Dieter's flying to New York. So it's can't give him an opening, no. But it's cool for him to get to do it. I mean, I'm not like a Yankees hater, but sometimes I don't want the Yankees to win because of him. Like, he's made me not want the Yankees, but I like the guys on the team. So it's I'm just watching as a fan now, which is cool.
Keeping with the baseball thing, what inspired you to get involved with the Negro Leagues and the collection?
You know, it was cool because I didn't know Kansas City and the history of the Negro Leagues in Kansas City. And when I got here as a rookie in the rookie symposium type stuff, they took us over to the museum, and I realized how great it was, and met Bob and got to hear the history. And that was the same stuff my dad and LaTroy had talked about growing up. And my dad used to mimic Satchel Paige and some of the way he'd do his mechanics and pitch. And so it just hit me close because I had heard this stuff growing up, and now I got to hear the history of it. And so I know people talk about it, but if you haven't been, I would go over to the Negro Leagues Museum and see the history of the game and how it impacted not only baseball, but the sports world in general. And so it was easy for me whenever Adidas came up to me and said, let's make something that goes with Kansas City. I was like, the Negro League Museum and the Monarchs especially. And so I'm excited for how the shoe turned out. Hopefully you go out and get them.
Patrick, there's been a lot of buzz in the league the last couple of days, wide receivers. That being said, with Juju, the game he had last Monday night, what's the confidence like, especially him tweeting out after the game, Unk still got it?
No, yeah, I mean, I have extreme confidence with the guys that are on that football field. I mean, they've won games, they've won Super Bowls, they've made plays in big moments, and Brett Veach does a great job of bringing players in that can step up whenever their number's called. And so every time I step on that football field, I feel like we have the best ability to win. And I think that's a credit to Brett Veach and Coach Reed bringing in guys that really get after it and put in the work to be great every single day.
Go to Nate next. Go to Nate.
How much time in the bye week, Patrick, did you look at your guys' performance in the red zone, and is there anything you want to change when you guys do get in that sort of condensed area of the field?
Yeah, I think it's just execution. I think for me, myself, I have to just trust to throw into some of those tighter windows and make those plays and know that that window might be the only opportunity you have to score a touchdown. And then we have to be able to run the ball down there and know that we get different coverages than a lot of other teams. And so instead of necessarily going in with a certain mindset, because this is how this team is played in the red zone, we have to go in with more good versus all plays. I mean, if you look at some of these teams, it's like they play man all game and then they play us. I mean, all season they play us and it's cover 2 or cover 4 and vice versa. And so we have to go in with the mindset of knowing teams are going to play us a little differently, and we have to execute and accept that challenge. And I've talked about if we've scored in some of these red zone situations, there isn't as many, I guess, questions about the offense because we're scoring in more and more points. And so eliminating turnovers, scoring in the red zone are the two things that I think we just need to work on as the season goes on.
Just to follow up on that, the tight window thing, obviously you don't throw a lot of tight window throws. Did you see stuff going back through film, particularly in the red zone, that you say, hey, there was a small crease here that maybe I should have thrown it?
Yeah, I mean, in certain situations, yeah. I mean, I remember just from not even watching on tape, but just remember in the Atlanta game, I had one where I kind of went out to the left, and it wasn't necessarily the window to throw it, but I could have maybe back shouldered the corner route, and I didn't throw it that one instance, and then we didn't get another opportunity to score that drive. And so it's just knowing that, like, you got to pick and choose when you want to take those chances. I mean, obviously with our defense and how they're playing, you don't want to necessarily put the ball in harm's way in the red zone. But whenever you get those opportunities, you can throw a ball that might be him or nobody, and the guy can make a catch. And so stuff that I'll continue to work on as the season goes on.
Patrick, when a guy like Juju comes back that you've worked with before, but it's been a while, how quickly, and what's the process of just getting familiar again and getting on the same page? How does that work?
Yeah, no, I mean, it always helps when you get in the game and it just kind of works out. I mean, obviously you get the reps in practice and you try to work through the things that I don't want to say lost, but you haven't worked on in the last year of him not being here. But then it seemed like when we got in the game, it kind of just clicked. And so that was something that was big for me. And we'll continue to get him involved in the offense as well as other guys. And I'm just excited for the guys that continue to get better and better each and every week. And I think we have
Taylor frequently shows up at Chiefs games and spends time with other wags, including Brittany Mahomes. Brittany revealed Taylor has visited her home where she took time to bake with her 3-year-old daughter Sterling. She said on 96.5 The Fan, "She's never baked anything specifically for me, but she's made different treats that have been around my house, like muffins and donuts and stuff like that. Sterling's a big baker as well, so they make some stuff together sometimes. I'm not gonna say I don't eat them. So, it is good as everybody's talked about, and she's great as far as comes to baking." Taylor, 34, also attended Mahomes' 29th birthday party alongside other Chiefs wags Chariah Gordon and Shona Weathersby, the partners of Mecole Hardman and Chris Jones respectively. It was also Kelce's birthday this month, and Taylor splashed out on multiple gifts for her man. Taylor spent a whopping $360,000 on a typically eclectic selection of haute couture fashion items from Armani, Ferragamo, and two $30,000 Cartier timepieces. And she got Kelce's pulse racing by booking out the entire Monza F1 race circuit for a day. It included private driving lessons as soon as the football campaign is over. As we exclusively revealed earlier this year, the couple has fallen in love with Italy and has been looking at properties in the picturesque Lake Como. After the most recent Chiefs game, a 26-13 win over the New Orleans Saints, the pair sparked pregnancy rumors. Kelce, 35, was pictured holding Taylor ever so gently with his strong hands cradling her abdomen, that garnered a myriad of likes from their fans on social media who were left in awe of the American couple's chemistry, but some appear to have gotten a wee bit overexcited as they shared some wild assumptions. One of which saw a handful of supporters claiming the placement of Kelce's hands indicated his girlfriend may be pregnant. However, there is no indication of that actually being the case, as Swift was even holding a margarita. This comes after Kelce's mom Donna dropped a huge hint about the possibility of wedding nuptials in the near future. Meanwhile, the star couple may appear on the big screen together for the first time after reports suggest Swift was approached by Adam Sandler's producers asking her to be part of Happy Gilmore 2. Kelce has already agreed to link up with Sandler for the sequel of the 1996 golf comedy. Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift may be the hottest celeb couple in pop culture, but they're really just ordinary lovebirds. The football star and pop icon are usually incredibly busy delighting their fans with their respective talents, but lately, their main focus has been each other. The Kansas City Chiefs tight end has recently come off of a bye week, and the Florida songstress has had some free time before returning to the stage for the final Eras Tour dates. Normally the Kelce-Swift dynamo keeps quiet about their time together, but one half of the famous couple is beginning to slowly peel away some layers of their private bubble, sharing bits of their relationship with the public. Tavies topped off last week with a dinner date, and the couple kicked off this week by hanging out and having a great time at a Yankees game on Monday night. The duo looked every bit of a normal couple when the Cardigan singer took some time to make sure her man was full of snacks and fed him some popcorn. Fans were delighted to see Tavies captivated with each other. The San Francisco 49ers will host the Kansas City Chiefs, a rematch of last season's Super Bowl, which the latter won 25-22 in overtime. San Francisco had a slow 3-3 start despite showing flashes of dominance. Two losses came after the 49ers led by double digits, but they couldn't hold on against the Los Angeles Rams and Arizona Cardinals. The 49ers picked up much-needed momentum, though, after a 36-24 Week 6 road win over the Seattle Seahawks. It's been the opposite start for the Chiefs, who are 5-0 despite not looking anywhere near their best from recent seasons.